Good morning, and nothing, and I mean nothing, beats the rise of the sun in the morning, every single morning, as it spells the beginning of a bright new day. Welcome to a Tuesday edition here for Wake Up Nigeria, yay!
That's right, it's the #1 breakfast show on Nigerian television, and this is the perfect opportunity to get right up and focus on being productive with us this Tuesday morning.
Yes, indeed. Like I always say, Tuesdays are the day when people have pushed everything that they ought to have done on a Monday into Tuesday. So it might look like a lot of work, but don't worry, we're getting you guys started right.
I cannot relate. I've always said it. For me, Mondays, you have to do what you have to do. Which one is Tuesday is the day that you are trying to get your work done?
Oh, well, in any case, you can either experience the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The choice is actually yours. So
that's true.
Choose discipline, actually.
Yeah, now every weekday, Monday to Friday, we choose the pain of discipline. Yes, that's why we are here bright and early, just to ensure you have a good morning with us.
Absolutely. As always, we have quite the show for you guys. Every single aspect of today's edition has been carefully curated just for you. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. Now remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and that's across all social media platforms, all right? We'd really love to hear from you.
Yes, and you can also see us live from absolutely anywhere across the world through, well, your mobile device. All you need to do is download the app. It's on Google Play Store and on iOS.
You can also watch us on GOTV, channel 16, and on UHF band 49, whichever you choose.
And please follow us on social media, TikTok, X, your former boyfriend, and everything, Instagram as well. We are at TVC Connect.
Now, for what we have in store for you on today's show.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us.
Joining us to talk about parenting is in this digital age is Joy Abu, a certified broadcaster and certified child coach. She has a passion and love for kids, but lays emphasis on training the boy child because she believes the boy child is the foundation to a better society. And for a very, very riveting performance, we are expecting Idehe Martins here, singer-songwriter. And of course, we can't wait to see what he's got in store for us.
Now, if you're at a loss for what to do when you realize you have an emergency at home, we're going to be joined by Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani, the MD Novo Health Africa. She'll be telling us more about that.
Favor Ugochi Anosike, known professionally as Ugochi, is a singer and songwriter and voice-over artist. She demonstrates a unique and versatile style through her music. Her sound is heavy on the Igbo dialect and Afro beats. Can't wait to have her.
You know, the Igbo language is one of my favorite
I'll tell you
languages
something,
in
yeah?
Nigeria. I love it.
The way she speaks it, the way she sings with it, it's just beautiful. I absolutely love Ugochi. I can't wait to meet her for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason why you're a host and not a singer.
Whatever.
Why?
Whatever.
The beauty of Igbo language is usually when it comes to romance. There's something about hearing, you know, an Igbo man. No, there's just something about the way an Igbo man tells you stuff. Not the ones on the street that are slapping you anyhow. No, but like the one, your partner telling
When
you.
they're professing love to you.
There's just something really sonorous about it. It makes me think of the Italian language.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always thought that the Igbo man's expression of love is actually very aggressive. It's very confident, bordering on aggressive.
Ego one.
You know I love you.
You know I love you.
Hey.
Take this 1 million naira. Take this 1 million naira.
He's always in naira and dollar.
For yourself.
See,
Take this one for your hair. This one for your car. This one for fuel.
Did I not buy you car yesterday?
Exactly.
You should be grateful.
Why should I come with you?
Why should I?
Don't you have a driver?
Don't you have a...
But the truth is, it's actually love.
Yes.
And I think my wife always says, "Do you think it's because you buy me stuff that you know?"
That's your act of love.
And the truth is, I feel like that's actually it for me. Providing stuff is, for me, my love language.
Yeah, you've always said so.
But she's always complained that she needs me to do all the
more physical touch and all of that.
Yes.
I try, but there's nothing beats just bringing out your wallet and saying, "Take my ATM card, just go."
I think that's one. I think that's usually a lag in communication, especially between couples. We never really ask ourselves, what are your love languages? Because like they're different. Attention, gifts, yes, and acts of service.
Started with the wrong number.
Yeah,
that number two is actually number one. We know her.
What's your love
acts
language?
of service.
Just listen. Just listen. Be my friend.
Okay.
Be there.
Physical touch. You like physical touch.
I love physical touch.
Yeah.
And my God, you just knows what to do.
If you'd ask me what my love language is, just as long as you can laugh at my silly jokes, I'm good.
Which jokes? When you are...
My quips and everything.
When
you know when you are silly, so we understand. It's okay.
No,
Because the only time Mazino is joking is when you...
Listen, you remember I gave you a one-man concert.
What is going on? I feel like there's something going on between the two.
I think in another life, I should have been a comedian. And it was a Winfrey's wedding, and I gave her an entire concert. It was interesting because
it was a one-man concert. I enjoyed the performance. It was an unforgettable.
From the way you sound, I can tell.
I laughed our heads off. I almost jumped out the window.
I almost actually jumped out the window.
You did not. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now we begin in the nation's capital where President Bola Tinubu has charged ministers to look beyond their titles and offices and stay focused on the day-to-day task of their individual and collective contributions to the transformation of the economy for the upliftment of Nigerian households. President Tinubu told the new ministers at the inaugural Federal Executive Council meeting that the country would rely on the experience, skill, intellect and networking of those who had been appointed to make headway in the challenging times, and failure would not be explained away under his watch. TVC News state correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
The first inaugural Federal Executive Council meeting to draw the roadmap for economic growth and national development. With high expectations and a clear target set by President Bola Tinubu, the road ahead will definitely be long and tough. The ministers will work out how the country can wriggle out of a debt crisis that is serviced with about 90% of the country's revenue.
To reform the economy to deliver sustainable and inclusive growth, strengthen national security for peace and prosperity. Without security, there can be no investment. We must unlock the energy and natural resources of this country. We must start to produce for ourselves.
Away from that, France's ambassador has remained in Niger despite being given a 48-hour deadline to leave the country last Friday. French President Emmanuel Macron confirmed in a defiant speech. Ambassador Sylvain Ite had been ordered to go and amid the rapidly deteriorating bilateral ties. But hours after the coup leader's deadline had passed, the president said he applauds Mr. Ito for staying put. The junta overthrew Niger's elected president last month. Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum was toppled on July 26 in a coup that has been condemned by France and many of Niger's neighbors, including the West African regional bloc, ECOWAS. Ambassador Ito had refused to meet Niger's new leaders after the coup. The junta said on Friday, as it announced the French ambassador had 48 hours to leave. Thousands of Nigerians in favor of the coup demonstrated on Sunday near the French military base in the capital, Niamey. And that's it on the news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come. Just stay with us. Okay.
And you are welcome. It's time for What's Up and About, ladies. Mary, what's up and about?
Why are you asking me? I don't understand. You see the way you started with excitement. We're waiting for you to just...
It's because we had a conversation just before the cameras came on, and it excited me, and then she dashed my hopes. Like,
we dashed your hopes. Anyway, I'm pretty sure so many of you have seen the reports. The OAU report, reportedly. Yes, I like to use the word reportedly.
Reportedly.
So, now, according to reports, students have been banned from doing certain things, and there are also certain sanctions that come with it. So in a situation, in fact, most of the sanctions are rustication. And it
For
has
one
to do
semester.
with sexually provocative dresses, backless clothes, transparent wears, off-shoulder clothes, bomb shorts. Why would you even wear bomb shorts to school? Seriously.
I wouldn't.
Tattered jeans, dreadlocks. Here, okay, this one
Colored
says
hair.
micro mini skimpy dress, earring for male, cowries for female.
Cowries.
Cowries, like
Why?
Like, you know, they're cowries accessories, so maybe they wear them as waist beads or waist accessories. Or
so we didn't
for
open their clothes to check.
No, maybe when they wear crop tops.
Ah.
If they wear crop tops, you know, that's going to show their
Sagging for female sag.
female sag. Sag.
Hair braiding for male, nose, mouth, eye, extra rings, unconventional wearing of. I'm not sitting down well, the paper did not clear. Tattoo, indelible markings for male.
With tattoos, did you say tattoos?
Tattoos, yes.
Tattoos.
Oh, wait, no,
Crop,
wait.
jump tops.
I'll
Is
come
there
back to
something
that.
called jump top? I know crop.
And men, they emphasize on it just in case you don't understand crop. At least you understand jump.
multicolored braid for female.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Haircuts with inscriptions, T-shirts with obscene inscriptions, depleting immorality, hooliganism. This just reminds me of elderly women or people in the village that wear tops that have really obscene stuff.
And they don't know
They
what
have
it
no
is.
idea.
Heavy makeup, rumpled and dirty clothes.
What are the sanctions? What are the sanctions?
All of them rustication,
All of
the
them.
ones I've seen
Yeah.
so far. They're all...
There are different categories. So there are some that get rusticated for one semester, and there are a few for two semesters.
Yeah.
Right. And so this happened after the review of their code of conduct. And this was earlier reviewed in sometime in 2002 and then 2016. So after the review of the code of conduct, the school's code of conduct, they decided, you know what, let us, go ahead.
Did they advise
and-
what they should wear then?
Are there other things to wear now? Are you not properly
No.
covered?
If they're being very specific as to what not to wear, then they should also.
It means that
advise
you can
what
wear
they
everything that is not...
Yeah, you can wear everything that's not on
So
this.
the one for
this-
2 semesters, colored hairstyle, hair braiding for male, spangled hairstyle for male. What's in the spangled hairstyle? Unwelcome touching, kissing, and hugging of opposite sex.
should- Well,
Spanish. Good morning.
that's
The man is already
exactly.
in trouble. This one. Massaging or
sitting on lap
on the lap
of
by
the opposite sex. Of the opposite
Wait,
sex.
why would you even do that in school in the first place? You say if you like koala.
No, but young people do that. I mean, okay, so okay, pause.
You'll be massaging your
No.
classmates
So
in
this is
school.
what it's very. I know that
Is it a parlor?
if you've ever worked in a corporate organization, first there's a dress code. You're told what colors to wear, what kind of clothes to wear.
TVC has its code of conduct
Exactly.
as well.
I understand that for
Dressing.
professional environments. But the academic environment, while I think that it is it's good to regulate things, I also think that you're removing a lot of personality, a lot of creativity, a lot of freedom, that where there's a lack of that, you also affect the ability of people to just simply be people. You add a certain level of frustration that I don't think goes with your ability to learn.
Yeah, Mazino, we've seen cases where a lot of young adults go into the university for the sake of freedom. And then they over freedom in terms of their morals and their character because they are not being checked and they're not being questioned. I know that there have been conversations in the past where even the school system has said, your moral education is for your parents and for religion. We are not responsible for that. But this school has come forward to say, you know what, you
our
cannot come here and spoil. We will checkmate your activities, we'll checkmate the things that you wear, we'll checkmate the things that you do. And it starts and it begins with how you look. So they are already, helping to build a society of people that could be, what's the word? That could be exported. Yeah, maybe to seemingly insane society. So there's nothing wrong with. So yes, as much as there's a need to checkmate or do better with the education system, because there's been conversation around that. I believe there's also nothing wrong with helping to build people's morale and character development.
I don't think that's wrong. I think it's a bit heavy-handed. First off, I'm going to say that it's a bit heavy-handed. I'm going to come back to the tattoo instance. I, however, want to ask: should that be the main focus? However, are you teaching these kids with all the apparatus or utility or whatever that you have? Is that your focus? Are they coming out better learned people than they went in, or are you stifling, especially creativity? I say creativity because what we do here is because of the creativity we have. If you take that away from young people, then you're actually setting them back a couple of years.
Was that what you were when you were growing up?
You see, fortunately or unfortunately, I was not a flamboyant student. I was actually a bookie, quite frankly. But
so did that take away from your creativity?
I wish that I was liberated earlier. I think I would have gone much further earlier. Is my point.
So for me,
you're taking a couple of years away from these kids.
Here's what I'm looking at. You go from nursery to primary to secondary school to university. What the school is probably saying is, you know what? Until you come out of this university,
or the education system,
on your education.
I understand that.
Creativity is important, but keep your creativity at home.
No.
Study. Wait, I'm driving somewhere. Study hard at school. Then when you finish your
you can now go and be wayward outside.
You can now be creative. Now, see,
that you're wayward.
There are two sides to this. On the one hand, one can look at the positivity of it, in the sense that there are some children, in quotes, who come to the university, many of them young, many of them impressionable.
When they're younger these days.
Yes. So when you cannot do certain things, you are able to, like, you know, still stay informed. I know so many of them that even attend private schools. When they are at school, they act according to what the school expects. Then when they are at home, or when they can escape their parents to say they are going for weekend at a church function, which is not true. They will now be, in quotes, themselves. But while you are in that school environment, you cannot.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what the school is saying. However, on the other hand, as I said, the other hand is the school might be empowering the wrong people. And I'm saying this from the experience of these private schools, where we hear of guards having sexual intercourse with the students just so as to, you know, the students can escape punishment of some things, or even certain authority taking advantage of certain things. Because even in Nigeria, we know when some things are banned, that's when certain government agencies take advantage. So it's a two-way street. I see what the school is doing, but is the balance also going to be maintained? That's where the challenge is.
What are the suggestions the school has brought forward for how you should conduct yourself? That should also go hand in hand with
because if you offend somebody, the person will claim that you did this is why they are punishing you.
Well, I'm also hoping that alongside this ban on all of these things, they would also put the necessary tools that are needed, you know, to make sure that, you know, this is well regulated.
Okay,
so, yeah,
well, hey, whether it's good or bad, let us know what you think. Use the hashtag WakeupNigeria on TVC. We will be back.
And if you're tired of school, just wear what they say you should wear.
Narf. And you're welcome. It's time for the papers, as we do every single morning. And today, just like yesterday, I'm joined by Mary Bashra Alimi. You're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Mazin. Let's take a look at the papers.
Let's please. Do you want to begin?
No, you go ahead.
All right. I'm going to start from the Guardian newspaper, if you're picking that up this morning. This is what to expect. First big front and center headline. Unworthy appointment of SSAs, SAs, PAs deplete lean resources in poor states. Lagos Assembly insists on rejection of 17 commissioner nominees. And OAU, we just discussed this, bans hugging, sitting on laps, skimpy dresses, tattoos, others on campus. Registrar indicted over unclaimed dividends as figures rise by 94% in 24 years. At the bottom of the Guardian newspaper, Tinubu gives ministers matching order to revive economy, says we must begin to sell, produce for ourselves, become self-reliant and sufficient enough. We will touch on that on other dailies. What I want to focus on, not yet Uhuru for creative industry financing. Taking a look at this headline and going back to the previous one, Tinubu asking the ministers to revive the economy. Let me bridge them together. What are we producing as Nigeria? We've always been reliant on oil. Oil is something that we're not really selling anymore, or nobody's interested in it, especially with all the theft going on and all of that. The BRICS have just adopted Argentina and other countries and left out Nigeria. So nobody's really focused on Nigeria or buying from Nigeria, it would seem. I might be wrong. However, there is something that we have that people are very interested in. In the recent past, we've had plenty of focus on our entertainment industry. We've seen people love Nigerian, Nollywood as a whole, Nigerian music and all of that. So how about we sell that is my question.
So, contrary to what you said, I've always believed Nigeria has actually been selling a lot. More and more Nigerians are exporting. The question is, are they exporting? not just entertainment.
Okay,
are they exporting with government support? I think that's where there's a lack.
Yes.
Because that would also increase the volume of exportation as well and encourage people to still do more. People are exporting a lot of things. I was even stunned to hear that there are certain things that we have locally that people even export to neighboring countries as well. But because they do it in small numbers, you know, quantities and all without support, it seems almost irrelevant. Nigeria has a lot to export. We have a lot to give. The question is, are those things being explored? Just as you said for the creative industry is even being exported. We see how big Afrobeat is. Yet, see.
Yeah.
The thing is,
concerts are being had outside the country, big concerts.
Big. So I believe what the government has to do is to be more involved. That's it. Okay, so from the Guardian newspaper, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. Now, the Punch newspaper has this: Federal Executive Council unfolds 3-year economic revival plan. Tinubu warns ministers to achieve first phase of Tinubu's 8-point agenda within 3 years. Tinubu inherited bad economy, youth employment unacceptable. That's coming from minister. Down here, we see Abiodun diverted Ogun LG's allocations. 10.8 billion naira bailouts, council boss alleges. Tenants bite off neighbor's ear over electricity bill.
Oh, dear.
NLC, FMBN clash over 238 billion naira National Housing Fund. Up here, we see extractive firms underpaid $10 billion in taxes, royalties. NEITI says that. NIBS kicks as ex-statistician general Ford's new employment data. And finally, Cameroon dam flood to hit states in 7 days. 7 days.
It's a countdown now.
Yeah,
7 days. We're gonna feel the effects. Now, did you know that the the name of the dam, I can't remember. It was built in the 80s. It was built to help with irrigation and also produce electricity. Now, this is the 80s we're talking about. I do not think that we have not been feeling the effect. Like yesterday, I told that this is something that's happened every single year, sometimes even perennially. Now, I asked how much of an effort has Nigeria put into building or doing something that would actually help our situation. It doesn't, it would seem it's not just enough to say, oh, alert, you might have flooding in so-and-so village, let's build IDP camps and all. There's an economy around all of that, which is very unfortunate. Because if you put all of that resources into perhaps maybe tackling the issue from years ago, well, if we haven't done it since then, how about now? There has still been no effort or no word on how to tackle it exponentially. And
it's really very unfortunate. It's really
quite unfortunate. All right, so now we have to move on to the Daily Sun. I've got that one. Big headline here: Tinubu reads Riot Act to ministers. I'll not spare incompetent officials. Vice President, Nigeria grinding to halt under you, says the PDP. He only just got there. FG evacuates 298 Nigerian irregular migrants freed from Libyan detention. At the bottom of the Daily Sun, FG prunes list of delegation to UNGA, orders non-inclusion of officials without role. At the side, you'd find Obaseki Shuaibu feud get messier. Deputy Governor, oh, my eyes are failing. Deputy Governor's media team disbanded. And Lacdo Dam will mitigate flood, says Environmental Minister. How, however, is the question. Goes on to say no cause for alarm, says NEMA. Edo State issues warning, alerts to residents in lowlands. And if you have been to Edo State recently, especially on the way to Ore Road, it's a very beautiful piece of a road, very free. But recently, it's become quite the driver's trap, because there's flooding on that road, and it shouldn't be. It's weird. Well, sad situation there.
All right, from there, let's take a look at the president. That's the Daily Trust newspaper now. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper has this: President Tinubu unveils 8-point agenda, warns ministers against underperformance. We inherited very bad economy coming from Wale Edu. Find short-term solutions to fuel subsidy removal, forex crisis. Expert tells federal government. Well, I guess we'll talk about that, because short-term solutions usually prove to be long-term problems eventually.
Band-Aid.
Tribunal, Kano APC declares fasting, prayers. 48 hours after NNPPs. Residents invade Bielsa warehouse, loot spoiled. 2022 palliatives said to be spoiled. Tinubu bars officials without specific rules from attending UNGA. Well, so much more to check on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. As it is, oh well, there's just so much going on.
There is so much.
There is just so much.
Well, hopefully you got something from the headlines that we've just given. Maybe pick up a paper, tell us what you think, use the hashtag WakeupNigeria on TVC. What's happening inside of the kitchen, Emin? Please, we see some movement in there. Who do we have as chef?
Yes, we have with us Chef Ariola with us. Good morning. How are you doing? And I see that he's repping the Arsenal.
All through and through.
All right, so are you people winning or you are failing?
We're on the road to doing something.
Yeah, the road, you're on your way to greatness.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
I have a question.
All right.
What school is our chef from? Because that hairstyle, where you as Barnett to?
Lagos State University.
Lasso, hey! What's up, man?
All right, Ariola, welcome to the show. So this morning, guys, Chef Ariola is making yam parties. Ooh, I know. So it's like, what's that? I know. Well, he will explain while you just savor everything that's going to be happening here in the kitchen and try it out and let us know. But so over to you, Chef Ariola.
So,
Let's talk about the ingredients for our yam parties.
Yeah, so basically, yam. I've been called Baba Onishu, so I chose
Baba Onishu.
Onishu. So basically, most of the things I do, yam
with
comes
the yam.
first,
Okay.
But you can also do
okay.
this with potatoes.
Okay.
For a more healthier version.
Okay.
So I have my yam, oil, my spices. So I made a spice blend. And so I'm adding a twist to this. So once I'm done with it, I turn into a burger. So it becomes a yam patty chicken burger.
Okay. Yam chicken party burger. Okay, it's quite a mouthful, and I'm very interested. I can't wait for, how this is going to turn out, because first off, I'm not sure I've heard of this recipe before. Secondly, it's definitely something that I'm definitely going to try out. Thirdly, I think the kids are absolutely going to love this, because a lot of kids don't like yam. So it's very, very important or imperative, or it's time we started looking for creative and fun ways to which we can infuse yam into their diet. Right. On your screen right there are the ingredients if you missed out on them earlier on. So we would, bring them on very soon. Okay, so where do we begin? What are we doing with our yams first?
Boil the yam.
Okay.
Then once boiled it is very soft. Make sure it's very soft. Then we mash it up. Then mix with some of the spices, egg. Then we, into little balls, press them to form a round shape. Okay. Goes into the oil. Okay. Then we are done with that. Okay. So that's like the yam patty itself. Okay. Then I proceed with making it into a burger. So
okay, so with our chicken? Okay.
Yeah, breaded chicken, then I stuff into the burger with other things that I'm yet to review.
This is one revelation I cannot wait to experience, guys, right here in the kitchen. This is Chef Ariola, guys, and this morning he's making yam parties. And, well, I have been told to ask you how Arsenal is faring at the moment. Just to be sure, because we want to be sure that you are not heartbroken. It's not a heartbroken self you are bringing into the recipe this morning.
There is no heartbreak here.
Because it's going to play a very critical role in how this meal comes out. If it's going to come out delicious or, But, hey, just kidding. You know what? So let's begin cooking. So we are starting with our yam. I see cheese. So this is going to be like an actual burger by the time it's ready, but with yam in it. Ooh, the kids are absolutely going to love this.
Definitely.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's get cooking, Ariola. If you're just joining us right here with me, it's Chef Ariola. And on your screen right there are the ingredients, people. If you missed out on it earlier on, it's right there. So I'm just going to run through them. So we have our yam, which will be cooked till it is very well cooked. And we have our cheese, we have our chicken, we have our cabbage, lettuce, spring onions, cucumber, egg, onions. We have Chef Ariola's special spice mix here. We have our salts, vegetable oil. Is this thyme?
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Italian
Infused with a
seasoning.
lot of, because I can smell the aroma and all the flavors from the spice. It smells good, guys. And of course, we have our seasoning cube. So let's start. So you can make this recipe with yam. You can make it with sweet potatoes. Ooh, with sweet potatoes, it's going to be.
No, that's, I think, for me, best option is sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Best option.
They are going to be so tasty. And, well, I can't wait to see how this turns out. We'll be right back, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
All right, joining us to talk about parenting in the digital age on Wake Up Nigeria this morning is Joy Abu, a certified broadcaster and certified child coach. She has a passion and love for children, but lays emphasis on training the boy child because she believes the boy child is the foundation to a better society. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us, Joy. How are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm okay.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so the focus is on children in the digital age.
Yes, of course.
Raising them right. I've always wondered at how, you know, people try to maintain that balance between children playing and children being on gadgets. But let's take it from the very beginning. When we talk about children being raised in the digital age, what is that about?
Okay, if you notice, we are in the computerized age, and parents have tended to replace our gadgets with their own personal time with kids. There are sometimes it's even a toddler, 2-3 years is crying, and then the parents just throw the gadget, and the child is engulfed, and the child keeps growing, and it starts affecting that child. So by the time you realize it, it's already late. So we've gotten to that stage where we are bringing awareness, like it's not too early to start training these kids to understand when to use their gadgets. And it's also important that parents should familiarize themselves with the digital age because, of course, that's where we are right now.
Now, when you say training them as to when to use the gadgets, please tell us, when do they use the gadgets? I believe it's according to age, right?
Yes, it's according to age.
Okay, please.
For a toddler, it's not advisable. I know there are cartoons, you could give them the TV, but not the gadgets. Now, what the gadgets does to them is affects their memory and makes them engulfed in such a way that even when you take that gadgets from them, it's like something is missing out of them. So once you have a toddler, it's important to let them play with the normal toys. Take the gadgets away from them. Now, when they get to that age where they need to do basic assignments, of course, you have like the nursery schools, there are times where they have to give them assignment, then you do that with them. So the issue we have right now is we just see parents leaving gadgets with kids. Even when they are done with the assignment, they keep playing with it and all of that. So for toddlers, for now, it's a no-no.
So for toddlers, we're looking at from what age?
From 0 to 4 years.
The child should not have access to...
It's a no-no.
It's a no-no.
It's a
Okay,
no-no.
so from 4 years upwards.
4 years to 8 years, of course, then it comes with monitoring.
Okay.
4 years to 8 years, you know that definitely they will have to do assignments, they will have 1 or 2 cartoons, but you monitor them so they don't get used to it to that point where they forget playtime. That's
So
where we're
how many hours are we looking at?
It's important parents sign what I call the digital, should I call it contracts with kids.
Digital contact with your children?
Yes, with your kids.
Okay.
And that helps them with timing. You can say, okay, once you're back from school, 2 hours is enough to play with whatever gadget you have. And once it's there, you pack it up. And then if they have their homework, be there to monitor that. Once they are done with it, you take it up. And then some weekends, of course, you know, weekends are when you relax more. Saturdays, you give them a longer period. So, but all of that is embedded in the digital contract to sign with your kids.
So how do you sign that contract? Is it verbal or you actually have a written one, you post
write
it somewhere?
and post it. You would do it, put it by their bedside so they wake up. And then when they default, you punish them accordingly.
So the child, you know, for children that can't sign properly, you do your thumbprint.
You do your thumbprint.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, you do your thumbprint. It's very important. That way it guides them into the future, into teenage, and then they know that, okay, I grew up with a digital content. And then it saves them a whole lot of what is happening in the cyberspace. Because sometimes the child is holding the gadget and something pops up. The child doesn't know what has popped up, and then it just clicks. And so with the whole lot that is happening in the cyber world, it's important.
Usually better.
Yes,
Okay, so now when you have children over 8 years old, How do you manage them and their gadgets?
Okay, now, you know, when it gets to that point, you're dealing with the fact that you need to talk to them and give them reasons why they have limited time to gadgets. And then that's when you bring in cyberbullying. There could be a whole lot of cyberbullying. They could be endangered and all of that. So but once you have that conversation with them, it helps them understand where you're driving to. So they see it like, okay, mommy is protecting us or daddy's protecting, not that mommy is just trying to be mommy. And then when you put parental guides to your gadgets, do it considering the kids also. And we know that these days, some kids are smarter than their parents.
I was going to get to that, but I wanted you to finish.
So when you're doing that, also do it and understand. You as a parent, you need to understand the digital age. You need to be in trend with what is happening at the digital age.
I know somebody who told me that a 6-year-old already knows the code for parental control, and they found out accidentally. Apparently, when the parents want to use the gadgets, they simply take out the code. So the child had been studying it. They just noticed that one day, the child left the gadget and forgot to put the code back. And so they picked it up and like, were you the one that unlocked this thing for? No, what was it? By the time the child was sat down for a conversation, it turned out that the child had been using that code for almost a year.
Now imagine.
Watching everything he wanted to watch without any inhibition.
Now, the parents actually thought they had put the code. Control. Not knowing that. Now, it's for you to study the kind of kids you have. And that's why I talk about conversation. Before you put parental code, make them understand that this is the reason why these codes are in place. It's not to restrict you, it's not to deny you access, but there are certain contents that are not for you at this stage. So once you have that conversation, now imagine that child for over a year. The child has been watching literally everything. Now, if they didn't discover and that child grows, you know what can happen to just... So.
However, there's also something I observed YouTube does, for example.
Okay.
If you are the type that keeps searching for a particular item, even without parental control, YouTube somehow tailors it such that everything that you want to check is already tailored towards that. So if they immediately understand that, okay, there might be no parental control.
Exactly.
But it's obviously a child who uses these gadgets more. So they tend to put mostly children-friendly things on your phone. So when you turn on your phone, for example, you probably see cartoons.
Yeah.
Or instead of nasty things coming up.
Exactly.
That's something else I've observed.
That's what YouTube is working towards, and we hope other media space try to embody, because the rate at which the digital age is affecting kids, it's really alarming. It's really, really alarming. And that's why we are bringing awareness that, you know what, parents need to get used to the digital trend. Most parents get phones and, you know, they don't know anything about it. They give their, no, you study your phone, study your gadget. Even when you buy a gadget for a child, make sure you study the manual, go through it before you hand it over to that child.
So for children who are already addicted, how can parents manage the situation?
Now, what you do is you take away the gadgets and bring in personal communication and conversation.
You take it away.
Yes, you take
addiction.
It away. Addiction.
Addiction, no, you take it away. This is like taking
it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have issues. You have to deal with them getting at that point where they get, they start reacting negatively. But continuous conversation. And then that's what I brought back to the digital contract. It takes them back. If I'm going to give you this gadget again, you're going to sign this and you're sticking to this. So that way, you're giving it back to them with conditions. They know that once the default, you're going back. So they wouldn't want to default because it's what they are used to.
So the digital contract comes in.
It's very important.
It's very important.
It comes in. It's
you
very
have
important.
to sign it. You have to be ready to deal with the consequences.
Be ready to do it. And it helps them to be responsible. It helps them to keep that at the back of their mind. You know, just the way you have your rules and then you write it out and then a child wakes up and reads. Do that with your digital contract. Sign it and know that, okay, there is time for everything. And then that way to help. Yeah.
Time management also.
Very important.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much indeed for your time, Joe. It's been quite an interesting conversation.
Thank you.
And thank you as well for watching. At this point, we have to join MM in the kitchen to know what she and Chef Ariola have been up to.
We are up to so much, and that was quite an interesting conversation, I must say. Very, very, very interesting conversation. Well done. This is Chef Ariola, guys. Welcome to the kitchen. And this morning, Chef Ariola is making yam parties, right? He's giving that interesting and, you know, adding a bit of twist to how we are to enjoy our yams. And I'm very much here for this recipe this morning. Let's run through the ingredients once again, Chef Ariola.
So we have our yam. It's almost ready on fire.
Did you add salt or anything to the
nothing
water?
Yet.
Nothing yet. Okay.
So once I'm done with the yam, while mashing it up, then I get to season it, preferably.
Okay.
So process of making the chicken that goes into the burger.
Okay.
And as well as
I saw that you were marinating the chicken earlier on. So what did you use?
So I used the black pepper, allspice mix, salt, and the Italian seasoning and rosemary mix as well to marinate. Just it's a blend of different flavors.
A blend of different flavors. I love that. So now that that's ready, what do we do next?
So I just let it sit for probably say 2 minutes.
So that the chicken properly absorbs all the flavors from the spices, and then we fry. So are we like properly frying it? Give us an idea of how long this.
I'm using boneless chicken.
Okay, so that's not going to take.
So it doesn't take a long. So 5 minutes max.
It's ready.
It's ready.
Okay, and we are getting ready our
things that goes into
the burger. Okay, so it seems like a complicated meal, but it's not exactly complicated. It's very easy. Very, very easy. If you're just joining us, with me is Chef Ariola, and he is making yam parties, guys. If you missed out on the ingredients, they're right there on your screen. Go through them. Take your sweet time, darlings. No hurry. Just take your time. Go through them. Yeah. Absorb all the ingredients.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And, well, so with the yams, you could actually use sweet potatoes, right?
Yeah, sweet potatoes.
You could also use Irish potatoes. And there's one missing ingredient here, and that's our flour. So that we are going to, hopefully get in a bit, because we need the flour. What's the role of the flour again?
Okay, so the flour helps to hold with the egg to create the patty with the yam.
Okay, so give us an idea of, so when the yam is ready, when it's properly cooked and soft, and we've infused all of the spices into the yam, what do we do next?
So we mix with the flour and egg.
Okay, so we mix the egg batter into the yam.
Into the yam.
Okay.
Add the quantity of flour, depending on the size we want to achieve.
Okay.
So when we mix together, with our hands, we just
incorporate everything.
Then we roll it out into balls.
Okay, like yam balls. Okay.
But we don't fry it, so we press to create a flat oval shape.
Okay.
That's what
and
goes
then
into
we
the oil.
hit. Yes. Now let's talk about the heating process for a bit. For what quantity of oil do we need for the
okay? So whatever
for frying.
Basically, I would recommend you use an oven.
Okay.
So you just you spray your pan, put your pan, just bake for like say 10 minutes. Then it comes out ready. But because we are frying, so whatever apparatus you're using to fry, deep fry.
Deep fry, so you have to soak it in a lot of oil. So what should we expect? Brownish, golden?
Yes, golden.
Golden.
Yes,
okay, golden. Okay, so that way it looks like a proper burger, but instead of breads, now we are using yam. Ooh. Very, very interesting recipe. The kids are absolutely going to love it. I know schools resumes next week, but this is something that you can try out this week, something fun and exciting. You could also have the kids, join you as well when making this, because, I think when
making the yam,
they will enjoy playing with it, the yam and the spices all together with the flour. They're definitely going to love that. And so things are getting on really nicely here, waiting for our yams to cook. And we are making progress. But whilst we are still prepping things up, tell me a little bit about yourself, Chef Henry. As a male chef in this climb, how has business been? How's the competition? Because there's so many chefs now.
Fierce.
Fierce.
So you have to something has to stand you out.
So what's that thing that stands out for you?
Just being Baba Onishu.
Baba Onishu. So everything yam. So I'm also guessing when we want to shop for yams, we just go Baba Onishu.
I'm always available for that.
Come and teach us how to shop for these yams. Because it's also, I think it's a skill.
learning to, knowing how to go shop for yams so that you don't buy the wrong yams because it can be frustrating, especially in this time where price of yam is, it don't go up.
It's going to be painful when you buy yam and probably
it's bad.
half is bad.
Exactly.
The other half tastes like vinegar.
Oh, wow. It can be so frustrating.
Exactly.
So I guess you gotta holler at Baba Onishu. Yeah, so when you want to buy your issue, yeah, in the market. Okay, so it's exciting stuff happening here in the kitchen, pretty exciting. We have to go on a quick break. Now, people, it's the top of the hour. If you're just joining us, well, there's still so much more coming right up. Stay with us.
Back, second hour here, and we remain a feel-good show, and it is all great vibes in here all the way up until the end. And definitely you enjoyed the first hour now, didn't you? Well, guaranteed, we're going to leave you with a smile at the end of this one.
Absolutely. Welcome to the second hour of the show. Now, we should warn you now. Very important. As we remain highly addictive with our array of top-notch family entertainment, you should be on the other side watching us.
That's good addiction. Yeah, that's the kind of addiction you should actually have. We prescribe that addiction to you. Get ready for non-stop back-to-back excitement this hour as we have earned the bragging rights from the first one, so we're going to deliver definitely. Why is MM laughing inside the kitchen? Why are you laughing?
You're talking about prescription.
I know you're talking about addiction. I'm trying to imagine the viewers' addiction to our show. They just stay glued, right?
Yes, please, be zombies with us.
Love it. Love it. And yes, Chef Ariola is hard at work with his Arsenal jersey. I can't get over this. Baba Onishu, Arsenal fan.
What is that?
Baba Onishu. Onishu means yam seller.
Baba
Onishu.
Okay.
The Baba that sells. So anything yams, just reach out to him.
Just reach out to him. Here's the plug. If you want to pound yam, if you want to fry yam, if you want to make yam interesting, you want to add a twist to your yam recipe, here is the plan.
There's so many different ways I can take that, but it's a breakfast show. Talking about yam.
And talking about delivering. I just stay tuned to this channel, okay? For the next few minutes, well, not few, 40 minutes at least. And we promise you wouldn't be disappointed.
Yes, indeed. My name is Mazino Peel.
And of course, my name is Mary Basha Alimi. Let's check out the highlights. But before the highlights, we should let you know that you can follow us at TVC Connect across all social media platforms. And of course, use the hashtag WakeupNigeria on TVC.
Slow down. Where are you rushing to? Now,
if you're wondering what to do when you realize you have an emergency at home, we'll be joined by Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani to teach us one or two things we need to know about this. She's the MD Noble Health Africa and expert in the healthcare system with over 20 years experience.
Coming up for a very exciting performance is going to be Idehem Martin, singer-songwriter, gospel by the way. He's going to be giving a very interesting rendition of one of his works.
Now, finally, we have Favor Ugoche Anasike, popularly known as Ugoche. She is a singer, writer, and voiceover artist who demonstrates a unique and versatile style through her music. Her sound is heavy on the Igbo dialect and Afrobeats, as you'd hear now. Oh, this was me last Saturday.
Well, tell you what, if you thought that was exciting, wait until she gets here. I think I'm just break a leg.
I think you should take that interview. Yeah.
Maybe I will.
We'll leave him to do it alone.
It's all good.
Time to talk health on Wake Up Nigeria. And doing justice to that this morning is Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani. Dr. Dorothy, it's so good to have you in the studio with us this morning. Now, we're talking about emergencies, what to do in case of an emergency. So tell us, people look at emergencies in different ways, different angles and all. But first, from a professional doctor, I'm using that word professional because we know how the word doctor is abused these days. But from you, what would you define as an emergency?
Okay, so an emergency is any illness or condition that is time sensitive and can lead to death if not addressed.
So an emergency is one that can lead to death if not addressed. Yeah. Now, I know there are different types of emergencies, and there are also different types of locations to head towards in case of an emergency. Many people don't know this. They just say, go to the hospital.
Yes.
It's when they get to the hospital, they're told, oh, no, not medical emergency, go to surgical emergency.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Most people just feel emergency is emergency. So can you tell us the different types of emergency there are?
Okay, let me start by even saying that there's a lot of confusion in Nigeria. You hear people use that word emergency, should I say carelessly? They just use it, but it could be that a health condition is urgent. So that's urgent care. Maybe you're really sick, you have malaria and all of that. Or somebody, like the one I had yesterday, a lady called me, she said, oh, it's an emergency, doctor, I'm in the hospital. I said, what's wrong? He said, oh, my daughter, her tummy is paining her. I said, no, that's not an emergency. That's an urgency. So there's a difference between, the two. So I need to clarify that.
So urgency has to do with things like, body pain,
maybe it's hurting, exactly, severe.
Yeah.
That's the word, is severe body pain. But there is no threat to life.
There's no threat to life.
Immediate
threat to life.
Immediate threat to life. So the emergency is when there's an immediate, like I said, it's time sensitive, and there's an immediate threat to life. Okay. So that's the difference. However, in emergency situations, unlike what you have in developed countries, where is built and everything is centered on a national level. They have national response. We don't have something like that here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I always advise people in terms of your emergency preparedness, because as a person or as a family or as an organization, you need to be prepared for emergencies in case they happen. And emergencies is not just things like, people think that there must be blood everywhere, accidents. It could be a cardiac arrest. It could be somebody who is already diabetic going into crisis or whatever. So we need to understand that we need to have that emergency preparedness. However, in a place like Nigeria, it becomes even more serious, whereby we don't have the infrastructure to address these things. We don't have the skilled professionals. We don't have even when you get to the hospitals, you don't have a well-systemized trauma center. Even the communication there, because in an emergency, what they do to you before you get to the hospital is actually very important. Remember, like we said, it is time sensitive. So these are all the levels to consider. How prepared you are already, that's your plan, then pre-hospital treatment, because if we have the first responders, they should also already be taking the person in an ambulance, and resuscitating the person before the person even gets to the hospital. And then at the hospital, that's when, the whole trauma, triage, and everything happens before the person is now treated. Now, we are suffering at all levels.
Now, in Nigeria, if you want to get somebody in an ambulance, it has to be either a roadside incident or something related. Now, in most cases, people have to take their patients to the hospital themselves in case of an emergency.
Yes.
So how can we know what is needed to do immediately, especially when there's an emergency in the home? How can you handle such situations?
Oh dear, you have to become a first responder. You have to be trained.
I think most Nigerians ought to be trained as first responders.
Well, not exactly, because people are trained for that particular, but you need to at least, as a person, have like first aid at home. First of all, have your first aid, things that you can easily, as a lay person, apply to even help the situation. And I also say that people should ensure that they partake in some promotive or preventive health situations, so that if there are illnesses like communicable disease or stuff like that, you're vaccinated or you take action not to even have it at all. When you look at Nigeria, that's why I say it's peculiar, because we are infrastructurally poor. So you don't even know where to begin. So what you need to do is to ensure that you're well informed where to get help. At home is just the first aid that you can try. You have a well-equipped home first aid box that you can apply the little safety thing before you get to the hospital.
I wish we could talk about all those things that we should have to to check emergency, for emergency measures in your home? What are those things that you should have in that first aid?
That's why information now is important. You have to be informed about your own health. So depending on what conditions that you have, let's say for somebody who has diabetes, and I keep talking about diabetes because it's prevalent it's one of the chronic illnesses that are common here. People you have, depending on your level, you see where it gets complicated. If you're the type that has to take insulin, you make sure that you have that at home. If you're in terms of people who have a high blood pressure, you make sure that you have your kits, you check your blood pressure. You can also check your blood sugar and all of that. So it depends on what you have, on what, should I say, medical illnesses concern you. So that's what happens. Well, bandage, something to stop blood, those are the general ones that you should have. Something like paracetamol, for headache or for pain relief in case the person is in pain and stuff like that. As simple as it sounds, they are very, very important.
All right. So basically what we've been able to learn is the difference between urgency and emergency, particularly when you're seeking medical help. And also the things you need to know, the things you need to have, especially now that you're expected to be more or less an untaught first responder. Well, really, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Dorothy Jeffin-Amani. Always pleasant to have a conversation.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Man on fire, lady, who they check out? This is where my super story see where it all.
Sliding into me. Alrighty, she is here. I have met her for the first time. Fantastic. Favor Ugochi Anasike, known professionally as Ugochi, singer-songwriter and also voice-over artist. She demonstrates a very unique, versatile style in her music. And of course, she is here right now. Favor, fantastic. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
First of all, I wanted to say that I love the way you, what's the word now? Sound. Whatever it is you're speaking, whether it's English, Igbo, or Pidgin English. I love the Pidgin English the most.
Thank you.
And I think I was in Anambra once, and I heard you on radio. I'm like, who's that person?
Oh.
I started following you. You had the most interesting content, especially when you spoke in Pidgin English.
Oh, yes.
I became a fan.
Yes, I used to do Aproko evening.
Exactly, yes, that was it. And then you came here the first time and I didn't meet you and I was very, very sad.
Oh.
So when I heard you were coming back today, I was like, yes, finally get to meet her. Good to meet you.
Do you like what you see?
Madam is watching.
It's nice to meet you too, actually.
And you, man. Now, so let's talk about, first of all, I don't know where to start from, but there's so much about you. But let's start with your expression. What is it about the way you sound that has people hooked on every single tune you sing, word you say, especially in the Igbo dialect? What dialect of Igbo is that?
It's general Igbo that I speak, yes. In my
Even
music.
when you say Igbo is different. Say it again.
Igbo.
It's Igbo.
Yes, that's the right way to say it.
Yeah, I know.
Igbo.
It's so different. So why is it different? Why does it sound?
I'm a very cultural person.
Okay.
I'm deeply rooted, and I'm the kind of person that believes in having an identity. And the only thing that has given me an identity ever is my culture. When I open my mouth, you know that, oh, that's an Igbo girl, so yes.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Aba.
In where?
Aba. In
Aba.
Abia State. So,
Abia State.
I want Aba for life.
See, just this sexy way, I'm going to say it, that you sound when you speak Igbo.
Thank you.
Very true. So do you think that has an effect on your expressions? It does, absolutely, doesn't it?
Well, it depends. In my music, you can tell, okay, you can tell. But I can decide to mask my Igbo-ness, you understand?
Very
But I don't know. I can be very expressive when I want to be, and I can, be very deeply rooted when I want to be. So I can be.
You're also very good with Pidgin English.
Oh, yes.
I think you floor most of the people I've heard speaking Pidgin
Are you
English
serious?
across Nigeria. Absolutely. I'm singing praises here, I know, but
You are.
this is real. So where did that come from? Your Pidgin English expression, it's not Warri, it's not the Lagos kind, it's also from Aba as well.
Yes, it's Aba because I used to help my mom a lot in her shop. So most of the times we're communicating with traders and people who come to buy stuff. So na pidgin will follow them talk.
Yeah.
Understand?
And you carry that on into radio.
I had to, yes. I was actually doing 2 belts. I was doing English and I was doing pidgin. Now, the crazy thing is that a lot of people did not know that I was the one on the English belt. Yes. So they were like, when they told them it's the same person, they're like, no, there's no way Fefe and I to talk are the same people.
Yeah. I2 Talk, that's it, I2 Talk. That was your handle on
yes,
social media.
Yes, the pidgin name.
So you do talk a lot, don't you?
Well, that's what they say.
All right, now let's bring it back to music. Now, we've just seen a piece that you've done, and you also have something brand new that's out. We're going to talk about that. Now, in your music, you are very rooted, like you said, especially when you use the Igbo dialect.
Yes.
I see you as the female flavor. I don't know if that comparison is okay.
Well, that's an honor because Flavor is someone that I actually look up to.
Nice.
I love his vibe a lot. Funny thing is, you know, people like him made me know, like, you can actually be very deeply rooted and people can still listen to you. So, yes, big shout out to Flavor.
You're the love doctor of music. When it comes to your music, is it just all about love? Because we can see how sensual that was.
Well, I'm a storyteller.
A storyteller.
Yes. So my music revolves around life. Life, love, everything. I could be going through like heartbreak and I want to sing about it, tell a story. My neighbors could be fighting, boom. Ugochi has a story, I'm sorry. But you know, I feel like life is all about stories, and because the kind of music that I do is centered around storytelling, it makes it very easy for me.
But do you think music captures everything that you are? Because I want to see everything as Ugochi. I miss hearing you on radio and putting out all of that radio content. You are a ball of excitement just looking at you just alone. What about television? What about going back to radio? What about putting all of that back together?
So you know how they say, like, you can actually try to grab everything at the same time and end up grabbing nothing. You feel me? So there's too much that I do. I dance sometimes. I do some acting. I do radio. I do pidgin. I'm singing at the same time. It is a lot. So it is a lot, especially like when you're... just doing music keeps me very busy. Like my hands, I'm always doing shows and gigs and weddings and all of that. So where is the time?
It's your gain but our loss, because there's so much more of you that we would like. So much.
I will come back to you guys.
Please do.
So...
Not the guys, not just the guys. Don't be selfish.
To everybody.
That's what I'm saying. She's so exciting. Okay, so let's talk about your new track. What's it called again?
Ifenkili.
Ifenkili.
Yes.
Before we play it, I would like you to do like an a cappella version, because I want to hear that voice unplugged. Nothing, nobody interfering, nothing except the frying in the kitchen. Nothing interfering. Let's
you know, I would always use an opportunity to show my voice. All right, let's go. Obuonye, obuonye, molonwa, obuonye, bikononye, obuonye, mulugo. Your beauty they choke, isi mena bakana. As you enter the place, everybody at Togaria. Uwabi Ifenkili, ayabi Ifenkili, ugobi Ifenkili, mpiyabo onyenkuzi.
Fantastic, brilliant, love it. I'm going to let us take the video now. When we get back, I'm going to be asking you questions about that new track.
Right.
So let's see the video for Ugochi. Ifenkili.
Yes.
She'll tell us the meaning and everything when we get back. Let's check it out.
Abonye, abonye, moronwa. Abonye, bikononye, abonye, moronwa. Abonye, wanakamsi kwado kunoku biya membasa.
It's a very beautiful video there. Absolutely fantastic. It's a very selfish video, however. The focus was all on you.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, I felt like most of my music videos in the past, I've always had like a lot of people in the videos. So for this one, I was very intentional because Ifenkili is a song that's all about beauty, extolling women, you know, and all of that. That's why I don't even have men in the video.
Exactly.
It's all women because the song is basically praising women. It's an appraisal.
What does Ifenkili mean?
Ifenkili in Igbo means something that is worth looking at.
Oh.
Too beautiful. Should be like in a special museum where everybody comes to just gaze upon it.
Like you.
Exactly. You know the vibe. You know, you get it. So that's what Ifenkili was about. Truth is, the song came out of being bullied. Someone said some really hurtful things to me, you know, and said, do you know that just said it plain, but plain, do you know that
Did they
you're
mean
ugly?
it, or-
Yes,
Really?
yes. Came in
They
my
intend
DMs.
to hurt you.
Yes, I was hurt. So I had to tell my dad that I was hurt. And then I was like, do you know that you're beautiful? You're Ifenkili.
This happened when?
I lost my mom, and then I was just about to bury her early last year.
Oh, so this is quite recent.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
So that was when I wrote Ifenkili, in
Wow.
January.
Wow, do you
Last
feel that this song is sort of like a dedication to that moment, the loss,
It
and
is,
also the
yes.
realization that you
Yes.
are
Yes.
who your father says you are, Ifenkili?
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. Wow, that's a very interesting story behind that track.
you.
And I love it. Love the way you look in it. Love the way you look now. Fantastic. Listen, man, I'm so honored, so excited to have finally gotten to meet you. The only way I have ever experienced you is, you know, in that square space on Instagram. Finally meeting you in person, you check all the boxes. I'm not disappointed at all.
Is this show the blush?
Hey, thank you. That's going to be my brand new show. You guys stay tuned because I'm going to be launching something called The Blush with Mazzino. Thank you. I'll be making them blush.
Thank you
Listen,
so much.
can you smell that?
I told them backstage that I want to be a part of whatever they are
Don't you
cooking.
worry. You are a part of it already.
Please.
Ifenkili, Biko,
Yes.
Bia neighbor. Did you hear that? Did I get that right?
Yes. Ifenkili.
Hey!
Ifenkili, thank you very much. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic.
Welcome to the kitchen, Ugochi. That was a beautiful video. Love it. Love it. Love it. I like what you did there. You didn't just tell the whoever said you're ugly. Said,
Yes.
You did
you
something
said,
about it.
Yes, I took that lemon thrown at me.
yeah,
and I
you made lemonade,
out
and
of
this
it.
lemonade is
giving.
it's enough to save the world.
Yes.
You are beautiful.
Yes,
Thank
Very beautiful.
yes, she is.
But how big was your,
Wow.
how big was your head when you walked in here? How much bigger is it now?
I don't know. My head can do this.
Welcome to the kitchen, Ugochi, once again. This is Chef Ariola, and he's popularly called Baba Onishu. Yes. He will explain to you later on what it means in Yoruba.
Yes.
But he's made for you yam patties. So it's more like a burger, but made with yam.
So this is yam.
Yes.
Yes.
On
This
top
is,
like
yeah, yes. There's chicken in there. There's, you know what? You just
There's
need
cheese
to
as well.
Find out.
Yes, eat it.
How? Where is? Do we have
Start
time?
from anywhere. Here's
Yes,
your
I know.
cutlery to enjoy. Take it one bite at a time.
Okay.
I think you should just get your hands dirty.
Right? I just
Get messy.
And then just put the cutlery down.
Yeah, because
There's so much to eat. Don't worry.
exactly. Where do you start?
Ah,
Wow.
Just take your time.
you know what? Go for the chicken. Go for the chicken.
The chicken.
Yes,
of
yes,
course, of
yes.
course.
Go ahead. You want to push it close to you because when
That's
you
a
are eating,
monthly.
Yeah.
Are we sure we can do this?
I will advise you use the cutleries to.
go
yeah.
Gochi, go Gochi, go
do anyhow.
Gochi, go Gochi.
I can do it.
Go Gochi, you can do it.
Okay.
You can. I'm
Okay.
rooting for
It's
you.
the record though.
it's the chicken that I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's the chicken?
That's it.
She went
That's
in.
it.
Oh wow.
That's it. I know, right?
Oh wow.
Oh
She
boy.
went in.
God bless you. You not suffer.
Oh boy, that was a heartfelt prayer.
Thank you.
Heartfelt. Stomach felt.
Thank you so much, Ugochi. Thank you, Ariola.
Thank you, Ariola.
And to all our guests, thank you so much. And most importantly, you at home watching, thank you so much. Over to you, cheesy boy.
Who, me?
Well, this is as
Hey,
far.
I made that.
I don't understand. I tried something you want to carry. This is as far as Mazzino's own party wants you want to come. Mazzino, see yourself.
Listen, I can't wait for the show to end, not because I won't miss you guys. I want her to sing to me. So can we be
I don't
done with it?
understand. Sing to you because you're
See
doing
you
it.
our show now.
tomorrow, guys.
Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.